Oven roasted acorn squash served with a sauté of shallot, pecan, dry fruit, and cranberries. A colorful side dish that vegetarians often request as they're made. Let's make roasted acorn squash with fruit and nuts. This sensational side dish is visually appealing, but it's also mighty, as in mighty tasty. Only 2 steps to make it. Check this out. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees, have a parchment-lined baking sheet at the ready. Grab 2 medium-sized acorn squash, give them a wash, then bring them to your cutting board. We're gonna cut them in half, scrape out and discard the seeds, then cut those halves in half. Place the squash onto the baking sheet, brush it with maybe a tablespoon of vegetable oil, give them a sprinkle of kosher salt and black pepper. We're gonna transfer the squash to the oven to roast for 1 hour. We roast the squash until it's tender and golden. And while that's happening, we're gonna do a quick little sauté. Ultimately, we're gonna be spooning the sauté onto the cooked squash. Amazing. Small skillet, moderate heat. We're gonna melt 2 tablespoons of butter, then add 2 shallots, finely diced. We're gonna cook the shallots until they're soft and fragrant. We're gonna do a mix of nut and fruit today, and although I'm using pecans, you can also do this recipe using, let's say, walnuts or hazelnuts. And although you're gonna see me using apricots and yellow raisins, don't forget, you might swap those out for, let's say, dry cherries or dates or currants. Make this recipe your own. Today I'm adding half a cup of pecan pieces, then I'm adding a 1/4 cup of dried apricots that I've diced, a 1/4 cup of golden yellow raisins. I'm gonna toss everything about in the skillet and cook it for about 2 minutes. Now, the 3 ingredients that take this dish to a whole new level of delish. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of fresh cranberries, thinly sliced, 1 tablespoon of thinly chopped sage. You can season the pan with a little bit of salt and pepper. All of these ingredients are in the skillet. We're gonna toss and cook for only 1 minute more. The squash is done. The topping is so ready. You got it, let's serve. Transferring the pieces of squash to a presentation plate or platter, you can spoon some of the topping onto each. I love the way it cascades down onto the plate. Cutting into it, you can see the acorn squash is perfectly roasted, and you just know this topping with the squash is going to be delicious. This, so good. Full recipe is up at Weekend at the Cottage. When you're visiting our website, please subscribe to it. Look for this video on our dedicated YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it as well. And then when a vegetarian side looks this beautiful, take a photo of it, post it using hashtag Weekend at the Cottage on your favorite socials like Pinterest, the Gram, and Facebook. Roasted acorn squash with fruit and nuts. Beautiful, easy, delicious.